All right. So I feel like I have to say this because um, hell, I even felt disappointed in myself because I keep forgetting what I'm dealing with. So my exhaustion level is ridiculous. I strongly believe I'm literally still moving about with based on the will of God in itself. Like I feel like I'm able to keep going because I am asking God to continue to keep feeding my soul. And it's interesting because just as I said that 5 seconds ago, they sent the pulse. They sent it was like a hit right to the brain. Boom. And what it feels like, I really need to cut my hair because I feel like my skull even changed shape from all the radiation, all the energy that's been attacking my brain and everything. Because when you're dealing with long exposure to radiation and directed energy, it changes your cells at the molecular level. So I'm thinking to some degree, I feel like even my skull has taken on a new shape and form. Like right now, I don't think I ever noticed this in the past, or actually, rather, I don't think I ever had this before. But right now, there's a there's a divot. I could feel it because I have so much hair. It's like you probably can't see it, but I could feel it. And I never noticed this on my skull until like maybe just like a couple of days ago because they've been hitting my head so much with so much energy. They've been hitting me hard too. And it's almost to the point where I think my skull is now taking on a new shape. And here, like right on the top part, it feels like there's like a divot in my skull, and I never used to have that. I don't know. I need to cut my hair. Yeah. I haven't cut my hair since when was the last time I had a haircut? I don't know. I think ever since quarantine. Like I just like yeah, like I think ever since March of 2020, that was the last time I cut my hair. I haven't cut my hair ever since then. But anyway, yeah, because even right now, if I use my chi, by using my chi produced from my right hand, it's like I am redirecting the energy flow from their remote wherever the energy is coming from, because it always comes at an angle. So you see where the back of my hand is facing? On the other side, my black hand side, on the black hand side of my hand, there are there's like an enormous amount of energy pushing against my hand, and it comes down. And as I'm pulling up, because I'm also producing energy or expelling energy from, the palm side of my hand, is pulling energy up out of my head. And every time I pull up, I feel more and more energy kind of just released from inside the brain. And now, every time I exhale like that, it's not coming from down here. It's not coming from down here. It's all coming from up here. And the reason why I have to keep documenting these, because at some point, there's going to be no dark places around the earth for them to hide anymore. And whoever's the most bravest scientists or researchers or lawyers or journalists or whatever, they're going to want to see these types of videos. They're going to want to know about these types of testimonies and stories, because it puts more content. It puts the whole thing into a more deeper and clear context. Now the handlers, they're like, he don't know nothing about secret society. He don't know nothing about technology. This fool, he set himself up for failure. All these different things. But I'm like, look, watch God work. All God is asking from every single one of us that's living our lives out on this earth, do not disobey me. Do not speak against my name. Do not disrespect everything that I have created. Do not limit yourself. Do not lower your own frequency. Do not live a life without true, pure love. Do not do anything that basically takes glory away from me, for I am the one who have created you and everything around you, including the fallen angels, because God created the fallen angels, and God created everything. Now the Nephilim and the evil spirits that came of them or came from them after they were destroyed, they weren't necessarily a creation of God, because they were a creation of both man and fallen angels. So that was a totally different creation in itself. But because they were created here on earth, but they were also part angel, God just basically said, nah, y'all stay right here on earth. Y'all don't go nowhere. Y'all just stay here on earth until whatever. And then it's like, when you remember what we're dealing with, right? When you think about like the real gist of why God created mankind to be what we are and be on this earth and no other place, is just to test us. It's always been about a test of faith, a test of loyalty, because God knows that the fallen angels are down here teaching mankind everything that we probably aren't supposed to know. This is one of the reasons why I found it very interesting how the handlers, they like to say through the V2K, you're not supposed to know about technology. You're not supposed to know about technology. They always repeat this. Which is true, because they're not supposed to know about this technology either. But here's the thing. They're telling other people they're not supposed to know about technology, because then, this is one of the thoughts that I wanted to bring back on one of my other videos. If you learn about technology, then you would learn how you are being attacked, right? Physically, mentally, and spiritually. You would learn how you're being attacked. But because you don't know about technology, then ignorance is basically the quickest way to control or kill someone through ignorance. The lack of knowledge or the suppression of knowledge will help control anyone and anything. Now, what I wanted to really mention was this. I've been so exhausted. Whether it was sleep deprivation or the fact that whenever I do go to sleep, I'm not actually recharging because of this link. And I always know exactly where to grab it to, because it's always in the same spot. It doesn't move. That connection, right hemisphere of the brain, just behind the frontal lobes. I think somewhere by the primary motor cortex. That's the main signal right there. That's the main connection to the cloud. That frequency, that signal doesn't go nowhere, and it doesn't even change position. It's just always there. I guarantee you, if every TI learned more about the chakras and learned more about their aura, they will too learn why it's important that we need to learn the Eastern world's perspective and ways on how to manage our energies and how to heal ourselves with our own hands. Reiki, what the Japanese calls, like through healing of hand, or I forgot what other cultures might call it, but hand healing. And it's literally the production of energy that comes from the hand. Though you can't see it in this camera, I am expelling energy from my body. And how I'm doing it, it's literally like, let me see, how do I explain this? So like, okay, let's say right now, this phone, it has a field around it and it's protruding out. Like it's blooming out. Now, my hand can feel all of the radiation, including the radiation and energy coming from the sensors that's at the top and also at the bottom of the phone. Because my hand gives off radiation itself, I could feel the presence. I could feel the radiation from the phone. Now, the one thing I still haven't really understood was how come whenever I force or increase the expel of energy from my hand against an opposing radiation, why do I feel the release of the pressure? So and that's where I'm trying to like understand, like, because some of this is physics, and then you got like the whole other non-science part of it. And I'm like, am I actually resonating with it to the point where my body recognizes that this is a harmful energy and it needs to give back what it's putting into me. So if I put my hand in front of the phone or in front of where the energy beams are coming from, like it like almost as if like it opens a channel so that it can seep out, or so that the excess energy can seep out. Right now, so now they have another frequency, but it's attached here. Well, not attached, but it's inserting here. Yeah, I have it. Now this frequency here, it's attached here, but I'm holding it in between my thumb and my index finger. Now I can trace it. When I trace it, it literally goes to the bottom of the phone. The bottom of the phone is where the speakers are. So I'm like, okay, is this ultrasound? I'm probably just gonna assume maybe yes. Ultrasound, energy carried from ultrasound is maybe propagating through, or I don't know. I'm not exactly sure which one it is, because I've already done enough research to know that, they in the tech world, they are using ultrasound to basically create haptics, or sensible haptics, to where like let's say a device has a number of different sensors, or whatever, speakers or whatever. I don't remember how to explain it, but if you were to do like a hologram, right? You got a device. Let's say like there's a device here on the floor, and it projects a hologram up, right? Let's say it's a sphere, and you want to grab that sphere. You can literally grab the sphere, and you'll feel the sensation of you holding a sphere in your hand, because of that device that's on the floor. It's giving off ultrasound, or is emitting or transmitting ultrasound. It's funny because as I'm like imagining myself holding a sphere, and I'm talking about a device on the floor, because I turned the phone to the side and I have my hand in front of the phone, I could feel the energy. I could literally feel the energy coming from the sensors at the top of the phone. I could literally feel it in my hand. And I could also like curve it into a ball. It's so strange. And then it goes so far. It's almost like it's a straight line. Like it's not really a straight line. Let me see. Because it fans out. And this is why I'm glad I learned about the phased array antenna. Because a phased array antenna is basically like multiple antennas all emitting radiation or signals. It's like multiple antennas all giving off signals, right? So it creates like a bloom. Like it creates a bloom, right? They're all giving off signals, but then in the center of that bloom, they can steer one particular beam. So it's like it creates like a big plume of like signals, right? Or just like, I guess, frequencies or something. I don't know how to like really explain it, but it's like all I could do is I could just give you the information, or at least I could give you the sources of what I read, and then you could read it yourself. But also you got to remember they're manipulating my neurons, so it's like I know what I'm trying to say because it's there, but because they're manipulating my neurons, I can't recall it the way that it needs to be said. But because I read it, I know it's there, but because of the neuron manipulations, I can't recall it. I used to think that I was, probably becoming completely like brain damaged because my memory is just so bad now. And I'm only 34 years old. There's no amount of like anything that I've ever done in my past. And I mean, I've mostly only, probably smoked weed and drink alcohol. 34 years of life is not that much time. It's not even enough time to create that amount of brain damage. And I know I don't abuse alcohol like that. I don't even like being drunk. That's why I'm glad I have the 2 MRIs. I have one MRI from 2009, and then I have another MRI from, I think it was earlier this year or late last year. I need to get another one so then I can see what the structure of my brain looks like. But anyway, you gotta learn about how the Eastern world perceives energy from the human body, because that's where they learn how to make this technology. It's like they took the information from the Eastern worlds, India, Asia. They took the information from like even the secret societies out there. They took the information from out there, the researchers and whatnot, and then they helped develop the technology based on the information that they've learned about the chakra centers and things like that. And let's not forget about the occults. The occults, the Satanists and all them, voodoo, all that stuff. All of that stuff was researched and then taken into consideration when it came to creating this technology. In the public eye, this technology is meant to give sight to people who are blind, is meant to give hearing back to people who can't hear, is meant to give people who have neurological issues a fighting chance to still be able to live a decent life or live a better life and be able to feel and sense things. But what's happening is they're taking that very same experimental technology and they're basically enhancing people who don't need enhancement. And they're making a killing off of it. Like earlier today, I meant to mention in my previous video, I mentioned gambling, right? And then I was supposed to say, imagine in sports, this technology is supposedly not known, right? Even though it is known. Every single athlete has this nanotechnology in their body. Every single athlete. Every single athlete has this technology in their body. These synthetic neural networks, the nanorobots all positioned right next to neurons, sending and, well, basically intercepting or reading or decoding electrical impulses in the body, modulating neurons and everything. Now, right, so right here, yeah, right here, this is where another frequency is. That's where your memory processing is at. Here and then here. But they always mostly focus on the right side. When they don't want me to remember things, they just basically flood it with energy. They just flood it with energy. Well, basically, they're overstimulating the nerves. So it's like, I believe if I remember it properly, they're causing the calcium ions to just, it's like they're causing them to just fire uncontrolled, like fire, like, or just release just a overflow of calcium ions. And it's overflow. It's like it's like an overflow. Even doing this, right? I'm expelling energy so that I can be able to pull, right? I could pull some of the energy from going into the side of my brain, right? But on the backhand side, I could feel the energy pushing against my hand. But it's not only just pushing against my hand. Some of it is actually not necessarily going through the hand, or it could be going through the hand, but it's also going around the hand to get to where it needs to get to. Because remember, all of this is bio-coded or bio-resonated. So it's like no matter what you try to put to block in front of it, because it's already locked on to this resonated frequency. Because it's already resonated, it just knows exactly where it needs to get to. Because of that main link that is connected to us. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, right. Before I get too lost. Yeah. It basically goes either through the hand or around the hand to get to where it needs to get to. That's why a lot of times I practice, if I could feel it push against my hand, then that means I could probably pinch it. Once I pinch it, it's almost as if like it's almost as if like clogging a pipe. That's what it feels like. It feels like clogging a pipe, like as if like or not even clogging a pipe, but like let's say you got a water hose running and then you just step on it, right? Water is still pushing through the hose, but because you stepped on it, you created like a pressure. Now it's pressurizing. I'm telling you, one of these days, someone is going to, I guess, create something that can see all these things, and I'm going to be one of the first few people who can actually sense and articulate how this stuff works in a way that most people aren't doing it. And the only reason I'm able to do this is, well, God, that's one. So it ain't the only reason, but yeah, that's one reason, is God. Two is because I realize in order for you to learn how to, I guess, understand something you don't know, or in order for you to learn how to understand a particular attack or a tactic or whatever the case may be, someone has to be able to go through the fire. Someone has to be able to walk through the fire. Just like how, like, whenever people are testing out bulletproof vests, right? They can't just always have a mannequin wear the vest and just say, oh, it didn't go through, so it should be safe. No, what they also got to do is they have to someone has to put the vest on, and then be brave enough to actually take the shot. So then they could feel how much of the kinetic energy will they have to take in once the bullet hits the vest. So that's what I feel like. I feel like I took it upon myself to put on the vest, and I'm taking the shots just so that I could be able to learn and articulate what's happening and how and all these other different things. But anyway, what I really wanted to mention was, because I'm so tired and exhausted, my girl, she went to go and have dinner with another TI that she met through me, and it's nice though, because it's they're women, and my girl, she doesn't really she doesn't really associate with too many people. So the fact that at least I know she's like associating with another TI, I'm like, okay, I feel good about that, But see, and then now after I said that, I hear one of the handlers saying something along like, ooh, Chris don't know something. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, could I be wrong? Could I not be wrong? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've known her for at least maybe 2 years now, something like that. Not my girl, but the other TI. But I don't know. I'm gonna just go ahead and let God handle it. I'm exhausted. Like I was already exhausted from work, and then the fact that when I go to sleep, I can't necessarily I don't necessarily recharge, because even while I'm in my sleep, they're bombarding my energy. They're bombarding my field with this toxic energy. Can you hear that? That popping sound, that's me trying to relieve the pressure of the energy going into my brain. I don't know if you was able to hear it, but it was like slight popping sounds. It was almost like I'm like trying to pop like air bubbles or something inside of my brain. But anyway, I was so exhausted. So exhausted. I'm usually always tired. So when I came in, I wanted to go with her to the dinner or whatever, but I don't know, I was just too tired. I couldn't do it. I was too tired. So then with that, I did a bunch of the AI chatbot helped me understand a few more things about wireless body area networks and digital cell towers and how the phone is basically a data hub that where they use the sensors in the phone to scan your whole entire aura and record all of the um, activity from your body and your mind, and then they basically it's uploaded into the phone, and then it stores on the phone. Then whenever the handlers are ready from their remote locations, they basically, I guess, send a command to the phone to then release that data and transmit it to them via either Wi-Fi signal or a cellular network. And then I'm like, well, New York City has like a ton of these digital cell towers that are not a part of either T-Mobile or AT&T or anything. They, on the Architecture of Radio app, they're classified as unknown carrier. So it's like the data that the data of you or me is sent to the phone, because the phone is basically scanning and decoding, and then, taking everything in. Then once they want the data or information, they basically then send a command or something to the phone to then release that information to it. But it needs either cellular network or it needs a Wi-Fi signal in order to transmit that information to wherever that remote server is. So then they can basically, do whatever they need to do. But I had fell asleep, while my girl was getting ready, and then when she woke me up, I was still so tired. And then I know I was fighting the idea that, because I was just tired, I just wanted to just stay home and rest. And I felt like I wanted to go with her, but it wasn't because I actually wanted to go. I wanted to go with her because I actually let fear resonate with me. They were starting to get to me. And that's because I'm so tired. I realize that the more tired you are, the easier and more effective this technology, the manipulations of your mood and everything, how much harder it is to fight back. I realize that, when you're tired, it's just so much harder to fight back. It's so much harder. It was to the point where, after she left, I was feeling doubtful and everything. I was like, damn, maybe I should have went with her, because, what if they do something, da-da-da. But then I keep forgetting, it's like, they're covert, right? But at any given time, they could become overt and just decide to just, take the old school route and just get their hands dirty. Or they could probably, I don't know, they could probably set up something with somebody else who probably don't have nothing, no care or nothing to lose or whatever. So they would probably go and commit the act themselves. But I had all this fear being conjured up, and that's the perfect word to use. It was conjured up fear. And I was like, I need to go to the store because I want to get something to drink or whatever. And I'm hearing the V2K and what oftentimes feel like is possibly people outside speaking, but it may not actually be people outside speaking. Could also be me probably also hearing other radio frequencies of people's voices projecting in my direction. I thought about that too. And then it even got to a point where I was like, wait a minute, am I actually feeling fear to leave the house? I was like, wait a minute, I'm actually feeling fear to leave my own house. And then I said, that never happens. And then it dawned on me. I'm like, I'm tired. That's why I'm so tired, because I'm like, when you're tired, you can't, it's hard. It's so much harder to control your emotions. It's so much harder to control yourself when you're tired. So I just pulled myself together, and I just started speaking to God, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna just go to the store. I'm gonna go and get what I want, and I'm gonna come right back. Lo and behold, I'm doing all these things, and as I walk out into the street, nothing's really going on. It's quiet. Not well, it wasn't quiet, but I mean it's just normal stuff. Like everything looks normal. But you already know that with this technology, it may look normal to you, but to everyone who's augmented, they're seeing everything completely different from you. Because your eyes haven't been, I guess, what's the word? Well, augmented. Your eyes haven't been augmented. I think augmented. Your eyes haven't been augmented to see the digital information that's all around. So even when people are being normal, they're also seeing digital data that you can't see, that's all around you. That's why I said in my last video that when they're looking at you, they're not necessarily looking at you, they're looking at the information around you or on you. So like, if anything, I could probably have a word all over my face, or I could have something above my head or whatever, and then I would see someone look, and then they'll squint, and then they'll turn and look away, because it's literally, when they look at you, they don't look at you like they're looking at you. They look at you like they're reading something, and then they go back to what they're doing. Yeah. But anyway, I went to the store, and and then everything was all right. And then I just remember something my mother told me. She was like, my mom, she's so strong. My mom is so strong. But she's strong because she had to be. You know, she's been targeted since the 80s because of, someone at her job that, basically sexually harassed her, and then she reported them, and then once she reported them, well, it was a wrap after that. They basically just harassed her even more, and even threatened that, if she quit, then she won't be able to get a job anywhere else, all kinds of stuff. So they really got her good, with the blackballing and everything. But yeah, all that's the energy that's coming from the memory area. But yeah, I remember what she said. She said, they ain't doing nothing but just trying to half scare you to death. But that was the most realest thing. The most realest thing she said was, they ain't really doing nothing to you but just trying to scare you half to death. Because if they wanted to kill you, they do it. And I said, that's the most realest thing, because I'm like, yo, all my life I grew up in New York City, right? I know that if somebody wanted to kill somebody who they thought was like a real snitch, or kill somebody who they thought was a real problem, trust me, they do it. They would do it. They would definitely do it. You turn on the news, people are dying left and right all over this city. So then I had to think, I had to go through my mind again to remind myself what I'm dealing with. It's to keep you in a perpetual state of fear. Because when you are vibrating so low and you're in that constant state of fear, fear is such a very, very low vibration. Fear and anger, I think anger is just above fear, like just a little bit higher than fear. Fear in itself can kill you. Because when you are living in a state of fear, it can lower your immune system, it could throw off your endocrine system, or lymphatic system rather. It can throw off so many different parts of you. It could throw off your energy levels. When you are in a constant state of fear, you're literally killing yourself just by operating within that energy level. I just heard him. They like, one of the handlers said, "That's a bitch ass nigga." Well, he might have said snitch. I don't know. They've been using either bitch or snitch interchangeably. But that's like one of their triggers. They just repeat it over and over. So it's like, so that it's like psychologically inducing, I guess, whatever the outcome or whatever the emotional response that they want, because our emotions dictate so much of our power. Yeah, so now they got a lot of energy. They got more energy coming off the phone. It's coming like off this right side, or it's really the left side of the phone. It's like the left side of the phone is really all along the edge of the phone. Like I can feel all of the frequencies coming off the edge of the phone, all around the phone. Like the phone is so hot. And it's interesting. So if you look on YouTube, they have videos where they, like beginner videos of Qigong and how you can create an energy ball with your hands. What I just did just now was, instead of like using my left hand, the phone is already giving off the energy. So it was like I put my hand in front of that energy, and then I just pull. So as I'm pulling, I could feel the energy coming from the phone that's going into my body. I could feel it pulling out of me and going towards the energy that's coming from the phone, almost as if like it's taking back what it put back in me, or taking back what it put in me. Yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And it was just like I wanted people to know that like it's okay. Those moments when you feel weak, when you feel like they're tuning your emotions and stuff like that, and you're tired, acknowledge that and give yourself some credit, because you are battling against a lot of devices. You are battling against a lot of energy. You are battling against many dark forces. And they are all controlled and manipulated by the very same entities that have been basically inducing destruction on all of humanity for probably more than just decades, but centuries. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get too down on yourself. Just go ahead and try to do what you can to rest. I think something else that people should also do too is, I mean, this may not sound too safe for some people, but wear earplugs. Or at least wear one earplug. Wearing one earplug, you actually interfere with some of the frequencies that are going into both of your ears. You have frequencies going into both of your ears. If you wear at least one earplug, you're interfering with some of the data that they're trying to extract, or not extract, but send into you. But all right, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to let y'all know that it's okay to acknowledge that you're tired, and then acknowledge that, yeah, you're exhausted, and it's hard for you to want to fight back. So just remember, when you feel tired like that, just start asking God to just push you forward. Just start like really speaking to God, and just really just start asking God to just feed you some more energy, feed you some more strength. Whether you believe in Christ, or you believe in Muhammad or Abraham, whatever the case is, ask them to give you guidance in this whole thing. Buddha, doesn't matter, as long as love and peace is a part of their message, that's all that matters. Love conquers all. All right. I'm gonna go and put them lighting filters on the side of my head with something, so I can try to relax a little bit. Anyway, as always, take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time. Please. Peace. I said please.